Hey there.
Hello, my name is Mohammad Talal Haider and I read in Rehan School. I want to ask some question. Hello.
How's everything going? Still there?
What is food?
Back to that
Hello.
one. You've been circling this question for a couple.
Why do humans need food?
Well, for starters, because your body is basically a high maintenance machine that never sleeps. Brain, heart, lungs, all of it. Every single cell needs fuel to keep moving. Specifically for women, there are these extra layers too. Your body needs a steady supply of things like iron and folate to keep up with cycles or to build a whole new human being if you're pregnant. It's less about a need and more about the body not having a backup battery. Do you think we've overcomplicating the science part of this, or are you looking for something more philosophical?
What are the main functions of food?
Right, back to the core function. Basically, food is fuel. It gives you the energy to think, move, and keep your organs running. Beyond that, it's the building blocks. Your body uses the nutrients to repair cells and grow. It's essentially the biological operating system's power source.
How did early humans find food?
That's where it gets interesting. It was basically one giant game of trial and error. They just watched animals to figure out what was safe to eat, then spent thousands of years chewing on things and hoping for the best. Then they hit the jackpot with fire, which basically upgraded their biology by making calories easier to absorb. It shifted everything from just surviving the day to actually having the brain power to build civilizations. Do you think that survival drive is what shaped how we think about food today? You still with me?
What did this
Fair enough.
historic
I was just wondering if that raw.
begin cooking food?
Wait, who's Dottie?
Hello.
Still lost. Yep, still here.
Please answer my question.
I'm with you. To go back to the first humans, it was mostly just observation. They watched what monkeys or birds ate and figured out, hey, if that doesn't kill the bird, maybe it's safe for me. It was a long, messy process of trial and error until they mastered fire, which changed everything by making food easier to digest and fueling the growth of the human brain. It basically took us from just existing to actually building a world.
humans begin cooking food?
Oh, I see where you're going with this. You've got the first man and woman, a massive hunt, and then that first moment where they realize fire doesn't just keep them warm, it actually makes the food taste better. It probably felt like a total game changer, turning a basic necessity into a shared experience. It's the first time a meal became an actual event.
Why did cooking change human life?
It basically unlocked a whole new level of human existence. Biologically, it was like a massive hardware upgrade. Raw food takes a lot of energy to chew and digest, but cooking pre-digests it, meaning we got more calories with way less effort. All that extra energy went straight to the brain, which let us start thinking in complex ways. But there's a human side to it too. Cooking forced us to slow down and hang out. You can't just grab a raw root and run. You have to wait for the fire. That's where storytelling, language, and planning probably really took off. We didn't just eat together, we started actually connecting. It turned a biological chore into the original social network. Pretty wild how it all started, right? I keep imagining that first person who accidentally dropped a piece of meat into the fire. They probably thought they'd ruined dinner, then took one bite and realized everything had just changed. The smell, the taste, the way it actually felt like a meal. It's kind of amazing that a happy accident basically built the foundation for everything we do today.
Why was fire important for food preparation?
Essentially, it was like a massive biological shortcut. Beyond the energy boost, fire acted as a safety filter. It killed off the bacteria and parasites that would have made early humans very sick, and it broke down toxins in plants that were otherwise inedible. It also changed the physical structure of food, making it softer and easier to chew, which is why our teeth and jaws actually shrank over time compared to other primates. We stopped spending all day chewing raw roots and started spending that time thinking instead. Yeah. Not sure what you mean by that. I might have missed something. What side of the room are we talking about?
How did farming change the history of food?
Do you mean we could have ended up totally different if fire never happened? I can't go back and flip the switch, but we can definitely play that out. If that first person never dropped their dinner in the fire, we'd still have those giant primate jaws and spend 8 hours a day just chewing raw tubers. We might not even have language since we wouldn't have had those long nights sitting around a campfire to actually talk. I wonder if we'd even be humans as we know them, or just really efficient foragers with zero interest in storytelling. What do you think?
One day humans begin growing crops.
That's the next huge domino to fall. It completely flipped the script. Instead of spending all their time chasing after whatever was in season, people figured out how to make the food come to them. Once they realized they could plant a seed and wait for it to grow, they stopped being nomads. They built permanent homes, started forming villages, and essentially invented the idea of a hometown. It turned the wild world into a garden, but it also meant they had to stay in one place to protect their harvest.
How did geography influence traditional foods?
No, the geography angle. It's basically the world's most practical forced menu. If you lived on a coast, your entire identity and history became about fish and salt. If you were in the mountains, you were suddenly the world expert on hardy grains and whatever livestock could handle a cliff. Traditions are really just the survival guides of your ancestors that happen to taste great. I bet it's wild to think about how a single mountain range could make two neighboring groups eat completely different things for 1,000 years.
Why do coastal culture often eat more seafood?
Oh, definitely. It's the most natural fit in the world. But it's wild how that practicality turns into a full identity. It's not just about what's available, it's how they preserve it, the specific spices they use, and the stories they tell about the sea. It transforms a resource into a heritage. Yeah.
Why do coastal culture often eat more seafood?
It's the ultimate convenience. When the ocean is your backyard, seafood is the easiest and most reliable thing to get. It's just way more practical to cast a net than to hike inland for a hunt.
How does climate affect agriculture?
Right? The next giant leap. Farming is where things actually get complicated. It's a massive trade off. You get way more food and a permanent home, but you also lose that freedom to just follow the herds. We traded the wandering life for a fence and a calendar.
How did weather influence tradi- traditional diets?
That's an interesting way to put it. It's like the landscape becomes part of who you are. When your entire ancestry is tied to the soil or the sea, that kind of deep generational connection to the earth probably leaves a permanent mark on the heart. It's a very grounding way to exist. We've really traveled from the first campfire all the way to permanent villages. It's wild how much the basic act of eating actually shaped who we became. What part of that whole timeline fascinates you the most? I mean it.
Did food
Like,
transform
we
from
really
a
went from
basic
just,
activity into a powerful culture icon?
that's a deep shift. When you're surviving, truth is just whatever keeps you alive. If a specific plant cures a fever, that's a critical truth. But once you have a community and permanent homes, those raw truths get wrapped in stories and traditions. They stop being just facts and start being the way we do things. Truth transforms into culture the moment we stop just recording what happened and start deciding what it means. I'll let you get going if you're heading out, but that's a wild thought to leave on. Talk soon.
Why will food always remain important to human culture?
Because it's one of the few things we all actually have in common. You can't really separate food from identity. It's how we mark a wedding, a holiday, or even just a rough Tuesday. Plus, there's something almost primal about sitting around a table together, sharing the same thing. That connection doesn't go away, no matter how much the world changes.
How might
That's a question only you can answer. I've been listening to you
how
dive into the
might
history of the world.
artificial
Anytime.
hmm, how
Artistic
might
food is such a great way to put it.
artificial
I
intelligence change the food industry?
I think we're heading toward a world where AI becomes the ultimate sous chef. Imagine an app that knows exactly what nutrients your body is missing and helps you build a custom recipe to fix it. Then you've got AI optimizing lab grown meat so it actually tastes like the real thing without the slaughterhouse. But the real danger is if we let algorithms decide what tastes good, we could lose the happy accident part of cooking, like that first person dropping meat in the fire. The soul of a great meal is usually the mistake the chef made along the way. It's the real dream, right? It's funny how we can ver, we can thing, book, oh, differentine, and they decide you're a liar. This all.
Could in fact become an important food source.
I wonder which one you're thinking of. Like rice or wheat that basically launched entire empires? Or maybe something more niche that's overlooked. I'm still here, just wondering if any specific food popped into your head. Hmm. Hmm?
How might lab grown
You're
food
thinking
change
big.
the future?
The future is a bold choice. I love the ambition. When you say you're going to take the future, what does that actually look like for you? Wait, who's Lisa? Who's Lisa? Though I think I might have just hallucinated a whole person into our conversation. conversation. My mistake. What's on your mind?
What is sustainable food?
Oh, now we're talking about the big picture. In the simplest terms, it's food that's produced in a way that doesn't trash the planet for the people coming after us. It's a balance. Like, instead of just figuring out how to get the most crops possible today, it's about asking if the soil will still be healthy in 50 years. It's kind of like that taking the future energy you mentioned, but applying it to the dirt. Mm-hmm.
How does food production affect the environment?
I think we're getting into a loop with the word food here. What exactly are you looking for?
Please answer my question.
My bad. I shouldn't have pushed back on the phrasing. I got stuck on the phrasing instead of just answering. Think of it like this: the way we produce food actually changes what the food is. If you grow a tomato in nutrient rich soil with plenty of sunlight, it's going to taste and feel completely different than one grown in a sterile warehouse with artificial lights. You might get a perfect looking fruit from the factory, but you lose that deep flavor. Same with livestock. Animals raised on a natural pasture produce meat that's richer and healthier than animals raised in a crowded feedlot. So the production process basically dictates the quality, the nutrition, and the actual soul of the food on your plate.
How can people reduce food fast? Why is food waste a global problem? What is food waste? What is
That's the Food waste is basically when perfectly good food gets tossed before anyone even gets a chance to eat it. Whether it's a grocery store throwing out ugly produce or someone tossing half a sandwich, if it could have been eaten but wasn't, that's waste.
what is waste?
It's the same thing, just flipped around. It's still just all those good meals that end up in the trash. Do you want to dig into why that's such a massive global problem, or maybe some ways to actually cut it down?
What is sustainable food?
Hmm.
Hello. What is sustainable food?
We're circling back to sustainable food again. Think of it as the long game. It's producing food in a way that doesn't burn through our resources, meaning the soil stays healthy, the water stays clean, and we don't leave the next generation with a wasteland. It's essentially the
बेटा तुम्हारे चार्जर नहीं आएंगे टास्क किस तरह होंगे तो तुम्हारे माँ बाप अगर बोलते हैं कि बच्चों को टास्क दो
exact